The limitless power granted to your hands is not a license to dominate the world, but an invitation to mend it. And true mastery requires not optimizing output for efficiency, but slowing down until every hammer strike becomes a meditation on care rather than conquest. In Infinite Forge, SixthBell delivers a cozy crafting lit RPG that transforms the overpowered protagonist trope into a luminous exploration of creative sovereignty and communal restoration, proving that in worlds where creation is quantified, liberation isn't found in endless production, it's forged in the radical act of honoring the process when the system demands you skip to the result. This isn't merely another slice-of-life saga with inflated stats. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every crafted item feels like both gift and boundary. Consent to create is negotiated through intentionality rather than assumed utility. And leveling up means protecting your peace when mechanics demand you burn out. From the first bellows and ember narration, listeners are immersed in a landscape where craftsmanship is communion and presence is the only unbreakable enchantment. Perfect for fans of emotionally intelligent cozy fantasy and stories where male tenderness defies genre expectations, this audiobook serves up atmospheric warmth, relentless emotional honesty, and a protagonist whose journey from legendary smith to sovereign artisan resonates with anyone who's ever mistaken productivity for purpose. When Master Blacksmith Kalen Vance is reborn into a peaceful valley with infinite forging potential, he expects strategic advantage. Not to discover his boundless power replicates the exact isolation that consumed his previous life, and the system's limitless bonus forces him to confront the grief he buried beneath legendary status as the realm's indispensable creator. But as Kalen navigates village requests and buried attractions to slowness, he realizes this rebirth isn't about domination, it's about recalibration. SixthBell masterfully avoids reducing Kalen to smug optimizer or the valley to mere backdrop. Instead, they craft a narrative where crafting becomes therapeutic framework, where consent is renegotiated through boundary setting within systemic constraints, and where liberation requires seeing creation as relationship rather than resource. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional precision, capturing Kalen's disciplined focus fracturing into genuine receptivity, while secondary voices, villagers, apprentices, echoes of past forges, shift subtly between transactional expectation and hidden solidarity, making every commission feel like both test and testimony. You don't just hear him level up, you feel that seismic shift of a man learning that some legacies can only be rebuilt when you stop trying to mass-produce them. What elevates Infinite Forge beyond typical cozy lit RPG fare is its nuanced portrayal of crafting as somatic practice rather than abstract optimization. Kalen isn't merely exploiting infinite resources, he's confronting how artisan culture taught him to equate worth with output, challenging the notion that safety requires emotional detachment. His relationships evolve through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during cooling periods that bypass performance, establishing workshop rhythms that protect both creative integrity and psychological safety, and defending villagers' right to wait against factions who mistake patience for inefficiency. Supporting characters add vital texture, fellow craftspeople whose strategies encode unprocessed trauma, elders whose wisdom carries intergenerational weight, even the forge itself, rendered as living archive whose stone hearth absorbs centuries of unspoken bargains. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In economies built on extraction, tenderness is technique, and presence is the only sustainable resource. Even the LitRPG mechanics serve thematic depth, with skill trees mirroring emotional integration and crafting milestones becoming metaphors for earned autonomy. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into reflective intimacy. The narrator embodies Kalen's evolution with remarkable range, from clipped professionalism to trembling openness during breakthroughs, while supporting characters are distinguished through vocal textures that honor diverse expressions of community without caricature. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming immersion. Distant hammer strikes marking temporal rhythm, rain against workshop windows during vulnerable confessions, the hushed hiss of quenching metal syncing with breath during moments of clarity, all anchor mythic stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the cadence of intentional creation, deliberate during reflection and foundational bonding, then surging with urgency as external pressures collide with internal awakenings. Whether you're commuting through sedentary routines or moving through active days, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and embodiment feels lifeline. It's storytelling as somatic validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where ascension isn't about rising above limits, but about rooting deeper within them. Ultimately, Infinite Forge redefines cozy crafting lit RPG by centering male emotional labor within systemic frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for satisfying progression and high-stakes tension, while delivering substantive commentary on toxic productivity, identity formation, and the radical act of trusting your whole self when systems demand fragmentation. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether strength can coexist with softness, or if true mastery requires embracing what others fear, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is simply choosing to create slowly. Press play, light the forge, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by excess, hearts still find ways to focus. Your next favorite cozy LitRPG isn't waiting in flawless builds. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to specialize in being human.